Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Voice Mood. I'm your host, your local millennial voice teacher, Olivia Peck, and I'm here today to talk to you about singing. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat ski, and I will happily answer them the best that I can. We have some fun topics today. In fact, we're gonna put some things to the test. So you want to find your key, right? You hear that a lot. My jazz teacher told me that in college. He said, find your key. And it was so ominous the way he said it, but really it doesn't have to be. Okay. So finding your key basically means you don't have to sing the song that you're singing as written. You can sing it in a higher key, a lower key. It's all you. You know, when you see these famous artists performing, guess what? They choose their key. They don't just do any old key or the key that they think is going to be the most impressive. They just do the key that sounds best in their voice. And I certainly do the same thing. So there was something that came up in the comments of my mixed voice video, and it was such a good point. And she said, okay, but what about songs like Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson that have this huge jump? So in the beginning of the song, it's really low. And towards the end of the song, it's too high. So either way, it doesn't fit for my voice. So we're going to use that song in particular today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions about singing, and I will answer them in the chat. Okay? I will do my best to answer. All right. So, Breakaway is a perfect example. And I was really happy that she brought this up because actually, I had a student who this week was singing the song Ocean Eyes, which has a really similar situation where it's pretty low at the beginning, but then it does the don't cry or whatever the lyrics are. And that big jump is tricky. So I found a way to make that work for her. So we're going to be doing that together today. It's going to be interesting and fun. Okay, let's go to this question here. I'm a guy and I like to sing female songs in their original key in falsetto. So that is one way to handle it, you know? Just because a song is written for a certain artist and they're singing it a certain way, you can use your strengths. Maybe you love your falsetto and your male presenting voice. So, done. Sing it in your falsetto. That's an option. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, when we're piecing this out with Breakaway. First, before we do that, I wanted to let you know what's going on in my studio this month. I'm really excited. So, check out the events that are happening this month. If you would like to hop on any of the things that are happening, I keep pressing it and then making it go away. If you want to, I have a singing basics class today at 6 p.m. Of course, I go live every week this month on Wednesdays. And then I have some other things going on as well, like the group voice lesson. That is the second Wednesday of the month, and that's going to be really fun. So if you want to get your feet wet in singing and you don't want to splurge and do a whole one-on-one lesson, I do free consultations, but group classes are super fun, great camaraderie. You don't have to sing in front of people. You can just try everything on mute, and it's a great way to get your feet wet. Yeah, I love my group classes. They're a blast. You can also join the songwriting workshop. This is my miscellaneous class of the month. So the third week, I will be talking about creating melodies, finding lyrics that are impactful, and kind of deconstructing songs that do those things really well. So that's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing y'all there. And then the end of the month, I'm doing an open mic night. This is something I did last month as well. So if you would like to practice singing in front of people and you want to get the jitters out, this is a very safe space. and it's full of positive feedback and just good vibes all around. Everybody did a great job last week, and some people sang in front of people for the very first time. It is a cozy little open mic right from the comfort of your home. And you can go to oliviapeck.com to check out all my group classes and sign up for a class with me. All right. That's all my announcements. Let's go to working on Breakaway. Okay. So first of all, the song starts in A minor. I like to use my guitar to play around with keys because it's a lot faster, to use the guitar because you can move your capo up and down and get a feel for the song without having to do much at all, right? It's just moving the capo. So the original key is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it starts in A minor, but I'm going to be playing it with the capo. So grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window. Okay, and then the chorus goes up. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. Easy to see why someone would find this challenging because we're kind of in our lower register. And then this chorus right in my break. Okay. So first thing you're going to try is moving it up, moving it down. Try both. Okay. So before we get crazy, try both because you never know. Just moving something up or down can make a big difference. Okay. I digress. So let's move it down a half step. You'll see just a half step makes a huge difference. Grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window. Okay, and then here's the chorus. And I'm not even singing through the whole thing. You notice that? I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. So I can tell it's lower in my voice significantly. It's a little less awkward. Now, this is not going to do any favors, though, for someone who found the beginning already too low. Thanks for checking in. Let me know if y'all know this song by Kelly Clarkson. Breakaway. All right. So now it's too low, maybe. All right. So let's bring it a half step up from the original, a half step up. Now, if you feel like it's too high at the high part, there is a chance, I've seen it happen, that it's not actually too high, it's just sitting in your break. It is amazing how you'll think like, oh, like it's just too high, it's awkward, and then you bring it up from the original key and you think, oh, well, the original artist would do it in a high key. Not necessarily. It's all about where it sits in your individual voice. Anyway, bringing it up a half step. Let me know if you have any questions about singing also, because I don't want to forget about y'all in the comments if you have a question about singing. Okay, here we go. Here's a half step higher. My guitar's out of tune. Grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I just stare out my window, dreaming of what could be. Pretty comfortable. Okay, but let's go to that chorus. Is it going to be too high? Here we go. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. So for me, a little bit more comfortable because it's not sitting in my break. However, maybe you know what? It's not a matter of it being in my break necessarily. It's just too high and too low. Now we got to get clever. Now we got to get creative. And this is where you need to really think about making it your own. Okay, because if you can't sing it in the original style that it is, it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to sing that chorus down the octave, but find it in a key where you can do it lower. All right, and so if that makes sense, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have a question here. We're gonna pause. Hello, dear Olivia. Hello. How to work on compression, light distortion to add density and slight hoarseness to the voice for pop vocals. This is a really good question, and a lot of us want to add some grit or distortion to our voice. Some people call it extreme singing. I really like Chris Lipe's take on a lot of this stuff. And so if you're looking for a YouTuber, however, I start with learning how to sing in my mixed voice first. So you'll see a lot of videos on my channel about that, singing a mixed voice, finding your mixed voice. That's the first thing. Finding a way to get a powerful rock belty sound without pushing or squeezing, right? So if you want to add grit to something like Breakaway, for instance, and let's say I'm doing, I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly, and I want to add distortion, first I have to get the notes. Then I have to make sure it's in a nice mixed belt. Oh, meow, 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 meow. Okay, now I'm just going to add like a little bit of compression, very gently. Think like I'm picking something up. I'm picking something up, and I'm actually going to ease up on the gas as well. Like I'm picking up something heavy. Meow, 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 meow. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Okay, another one you can do is a head voicey with a little bit more nasal. So like, I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. It's just adding a little bit of like nasal, and then you get this rattly sound from the false fold. So you can also do that. It's more of a head voice and adding nasal. I'll spread my wings. You hear a lot of, like, Lady Gaga does that a lot. I want your disease. It's not really in my key, but that's an example. Let me know what you think about that, if that's helpful. Hopefully it is. Okay, so that second one, how I'd love to approach it, that key. Okay, so let's go back to this key, Breakaway. So we're going to do the chorus down the octave, but we're also going to do the first verse in a comfortable key. So that's not down the octave. Okay, let's think about this. So we could, let's see if it's in A minor, whatever. I changed it to starting on E minor, adding a capo to the 5th fret. Let's put it super high up. So now we're doing a whole step up from the original, but we're going to sing it down the octave. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. That'd be too low, right? We still want to build to the chorus. So let's do, I'm going to bring it up 5 half steps, okay? I'll spread my wings and I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. Still too low. Let's bring it up 7 half steps. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. That's a little bit more in the zone. Okay, we could do that. That's comfortable. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. Now let's make that first verse work. Grew up in a small town. I would pray. Still kind of low, but if this person wanted to try it could still be manageable. So, grew up in a small town. When the rain would fall down, I'd just stare out my window. You could change it like that to make it work. And then we get to the chorus. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. So it's quite a bit lower. But we were able to sing the first verse in a manageable zone and then move the chorus down an octave. Let's bring it up another whole step and see if that actually solves everything. This might be the right move here because I was a little low. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Do what it takes till I touch the sky. Then the beginning would be, grew up in a small town. Stare out my window. Oh my gosh, this is making my brain scrambled eggs. So I think if we worked it out, it would be pretty comfortable. I'm not going to make y'all sit here through that. But as you can see, you can play around with the song to make it your own, put it in your own voice. It's way easier to do this when you are able to move the key around like I was just doing, okay? If you can't do that, then you're just stuck with the way a song is written. But have no fear, you do not need to know how to play guitar at all. I don't play super well or anything, as you can see. You can also use a program like Moises, and I'll share what that looks like. So Moises is an app where you can change the keys to songs. You can move them up, you can move them down, and you do that right up here. Up, down, okay. And you can take out the vocal line so you have a karaoke track, or you can leave the vocals in to help train you on your new key. This is a thing that I use with students all the time to make songs for them. In fact, I have them here like Ocean Eyes. I was doing that for a student the other day. I moved it in a crazy key so that it fit her voice. This is just stuff that you do when you are a singer. You move stuff to fit your voice. Okay. Now, that's not to say that you don't want to be able to sing high notes or you don't want to be able to develop your lower range. Doesn't mean that you stop learning how to sing high, right? We still want to sing high or low or whatever, but it's really a lot better to start from a place where you're comfortable, your voice can be free, you're not straining, that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Okay, it's just good to start in that place. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions about this. I had a lot of fun, and that was a very messy presentation, but it just goes to show that, like, yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. And if you're like, I can't find it, I can't find the first note, it's okay. It's understandable. I had a hard time finding it. When you're moving it all around, it can be very tricky. It's not an easy automatic skill to just move the key and you can hear it and now you're in a new key. It's also a skill to be able to switch keys. I had a friend in high school who he just was very like it was muscle memory for him to sing in a certain key, and so he really couldn't change keys. I mean, I'm sure he got there eventually, but I just remember that very distinctly, like he could only sing in the key he learned. So that is a thing, and it's a skill. Anyway, okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Y'all have been great, have had some really good ones. I'm going to talk a little bit about vocal health because it is just that time of year when everybody seems like they're getting over a cold. We've had these winter storms across the US, and I'm sure it's been quite frigid. I know it's been quite frigid in the other countries as well because I talk to y'all. I have students all over the world, except for Australia. Y'all are warm, okay? But people are getting sick. So I'm going to show you my routine for staying healthy when you're sick. So, first of all, yes, you can move a key. That's the first thing. We're talking about that today. If I'm not feeling like I can sing in my normal register. Maybe it's a certain time of the month for me when I'm a little swollen right here. I might move things down. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is get your sleep, get your water. Your vocal folds need to be hydrated ahead of time. So hydrate the day before. That's why I use a big water bottle, because I don't know about y'all, but I forget to drink water. If I'm busy, I don't want to like go to the sink and fix myself 7 glasses of water. So make it easy on yourself. Get a big water bottle. I used to have a bigger one, but it doesn't need to be massive. This in one day has been enough for me. I have it on my website. I specifically like this water bottle for the SOVT exercises. So blowing bubbles is really good for your vocal folds, good for building good breath coordination with your voice. It's kind of like doing stretches in water for your vocal folds. So being able to do strength training for them without like putting all the stress on those little muscles. Because when you blow bubbles, or when you do lip trills and you close your mouth and make sounds like humming, it creates this back pressure, squares up your vocal folds, and the air supports them on both sides, not just coming up through the lungs. And it's a therapeutic way to sing. And I notice a huge difference when you warm up with blowing bubbles. Okay. So I really like this particular water bottle because of the type of straw it is. It's a bigger straw, and it you can take it out if you want. It also, you can move it really easily, which is good because sometimes it's not full and you need to move based on where the water is. I used to have another one where it was like sort of like this rubbery straw, and it wasn't as good. So this one's a really good water bottle. I have all these things on my website. Every morning these days, I am doing my saline rinse. This is my favorite. You're supposed to replace them every 3 months. I do this every morning. It's like I always have allergies in this house. There's something in this house. Anyways, postnasal drip is a killer for singing. It's so annoying. It inflames your vocal folds. It's just agitating for them. So I really recommend doing a little rinse if you know you have postnasal drip at night when you're sleeping. So when you wake up in the morning, you can kind of clear things out. Makes a really big difference. I even feel like it clears out in my ears. I can feel it. Pretty cool. Okay. And y'all know I'm going to talk about my nebulizer. This has come up a lot lately because of how cold it's been in the US, probably, and how dry everyone feels. Yes, you're not crazy. If you feel dry, you might need some extra help. Yes, drink your water, rest your voice, be aware of how you feel. But I use this if I'm going to be singing a lot. And you have to be careful though. So you want to get a mesh nebulizer. They have them on Amazon. I have one that I picked out on my website. And this particular one, I can't find it anymore. They don't sell this exact one, but they're all kind of the same. I like this one and the one on my website because it's self-cleaning, which is important. And all you do is you get these little 0.9% sodium chloride things. You cannot put water in it. Okay. I had a student put water in it. Hello. You can't put water in it. I told him to pour it out because you have to put this saline solution in it. I don't exactly know why you can't put water in it. I just know it's not safe. Like you have to put this particular stuff. So it's just, yes, they're these little things and you put them in the top. Okay. And it's not that much. Sometimes I'll do 2. These are 5 milliliters. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do 2. And then you just pick how long you're going to do it. Okay. And usually if I do 2, it'll take over 20 minutes. But then at the end, you do the self-cleaning thing. There's a button for that. and you rinse it out and all that stuff, and you follow the directions. Follow the directions if you have a nebulizer. But when I tell you this changed my singing life, a lot. So this is for hydrating your vocal folds directly, and it's for when you have an intense singing day. So if you have a lot of singing or if you're recovering from an illness and your vocal folds feel dried out, maybe they need to recover. This helps that recovery process a lot faster. And the only thing is, you do want to, if you're going to nebulize, you want to make sure it's right for you. It's still going in your lungs. So, first of all, you want to be careful. You want to use it safely, clean. I'm not a doctor. You want to make sure that, you know, you can use a nebulizer. I'm sure there are medical conditions where you don't want to be breathing in saline for whatever reason. It's a very mild thing. It's over the counter, but still, it's not medical advice. Anyways, you'll see them. They're a lot more popular than they used to be. And I see a lot of stars like Chapel Roan talking about her nebulizer and stuff. It's a lot more like mainstream now to use them, I guess. You can also take a hot shower, steam, breathe in that steam. Some people boil a bottle. I do this too sometimes. Boil some water and then put a towel over your head and breathe in the steam over the the bowl, and that also helps. The only thing about that, the only thing about that is when I do that, boiling water and like steam my voice or face, it gives me like rosacea, okay? And it definitely made me break out. So just just be careful. Okay. And you don't want it to be too hot. You just use common sense. This isn't medical advice. It's just what I do, and I recommend it if you think it's right for you and your doctor. But this you also want to make sure you use spring water. You wanna use purified spring water, okay? You don't wanna use, like, tap water for that either, alright? And this I've used since college. Um, the nebulizer, I wish I used in college because I was dry all the time. Alright, I hope that helps. Um, I don't know who Stray Kids are. I don't know if that's a band. I'm sure it is. I don't know. Did y'all watch the Grammys? Let me know if I should review any of the Grammy performances. I'd love to do that. Yeah, a lot of new artists out there. Great questions day. Anybody have any other questions about singing or anything like that? I have really enjoyed this. It's been fun. Y'all have had some good questions this week. I go live almost every week. This month, it's going to be every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And so you can leave a comment on my videos in this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about singing, if I should talk about anything. And I will address them on the next live next Wednesday. And we can all gather together again and talk about singing. It's one of my favorite things to do. All right, so here's a good comment. I often get sick and my runny nose can last for a month. Even when I'm healthy, my nose is chronically congested. Can this damage my vocal cords and affect the quality of the sound? So certainly if you have congestion, you I'm sure know that it's affecting your singing because your resonators and everything are all right here. And the good thing about being congested is you're probably not using your nose too much. You might I often tell my students to plug their nose when they sing because sometimes we use too much nasality. So that's one good thing about being congested. But most of the time, if things are like draining or you're sniffing all the time, yeah, over time, that irritation can certainly cause inflammation and maybe make it so that your stamina isn't as good. You might easily get worn out or, maybe even laryngitis. There's also risk for infection. Da 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 da. Again, not a doctor, just my experience with singing and like having a stuffy nose and stuff like that. So this kind of thing might be good for you. I have students who um like take allergy medicine. That's very drying, but it is an option if you feel like it helps. Just make sure you also drink water. Um, I sometimes will take an antihistamine like ibuprofen before I go to sleep if I'm congested so that I'm not like stuffy and breathing through my mouth all night. You just don't want to take ibuprofen before you sing because it's dangerous. Because it sort of numbs things and it also has to do with like your blood vessels and all this stuff. So you don't want to take ibuprofen and then sing. But if you take it, before you go to sleep so that your passages are open, and again, not medical advice, is just something I do when I'm really congested and I need to like breathe through my nose while I'm sleeping so that I'm not like breathing through my mouth, drying out my vocal folds, and it kind of can help with like drying out some of that mucus. Hope that helps. But again, this might be when I had a chest cold, I used my nebulizer to recover faster than I ever would have without it. I had a voice teacher also say that using the nasal rinse cuts your illness in half. I mean, that was kind of a sweeping statement, but she said that, and I think it's true. I do think it's true because whenever I am sick, I do use my nasal rinse. I used to have a neti pot as well, and it does help tremendously, tremendously. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Can you sing a Chinese song? I don't know any Chinese. But let me know. Maybe I'll learn one. If you can give me a suggestion, I could try. Yeah, I don't know. About that. Yeah, y'all have had some really good questions. Yep. Any other ones? I'm here for you. Have another video in the works about breathing, so that'll be good to get out there because I don't have a video on my channel about breathing yet. But breathing is very important to your singing. I always say that people breathe too much typically when they are learning to sing. It's more about being able to control your breath, especially if you're learning mixed voice or belting or distortion, like we were talking about earlier. It's good to understand how your breath works and feel like it's working for you, but you don't want the air to be too big going in, or else you'll feel like you're holding it, or, you can actually do some damage by taking too big of breaths or pushing out too much air. So you want to resort back to like, how big is my speaking breath? And you want to see if you can sing on no breath and what happens. Experiment with different sizes of breaths. Okay. Here is a good question. As a male teen, I want to learn how to sing, but I need to learn how to be louder. So could you please give me tips? So singing louder. Yeah. Singing louder, it really depends on I like to hear people sing before I advise them to how to sing louder, because if you have any sort of like vocal tension, like throat tension when you're singing, sometimes trying to sing louder just doesn't help. What's really important is feeling like you can sing freely. Freely. It doesn't hurt, it's painless. You're singing in a range that makes sense. You're not pushing too high or too low. And then crank up the volume once you're feeling comfortable. So that's what I advise. Start with a speaking volume and then really focus on ping and resonance. So as opposed to like pushing out, like almost like shouting or something, think more about doing like wah, like a baby cry, or doing like nya nya nya, singing on a nya, getting things more forward, as we like to say, and more here, as opposed to if it's getting trapped here, which happens sometimes. Hope that makes sense. This is why mixed voice is such a popular topic, because even studying mixed voice, that ping and being able to bring that clear resonance higher in your registers, in your upper register, is so powerful, and it it might sound louder in a way, but it doesn't really have to be. It's more about the sound carrying. And if you're doing microphone singing, just remember, yeah, and choir is not microphone singing, but you don't have to sing loudly at all if you have a microphone. At all. The microphone for pop, rock, contemporary styles is an extension of your voice. So just remember that. Hope that helps. Oh my gosh. Okay, K-pop Demon Hunters. I have a video on that and I do sing a little bit in it. Okay? So you could go to that video actually. And it is a hard song. It's a little high for me, honestly. It's not really my range. I'm certainly not singing it today. My voice, I just like woke up, so I'm not doing that. La 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 la. All right, guys. Well, this has been fun. You all have been pretty wonderful, and I really have enjoyed talking to y'all about singing. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be here next week, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. If you'd like to sign up for a voice lesson, go to oliviapeck.com. I do free consultations, so you can sign up for that as well on my website. It's a pretty easy process, and I'll see you later. Thank y'all. Bye.